yoursubject.org. How to solve a linear programming problem with an example. The steps. Set up the objective function. Set up the constraint inequalities. Graph the system of constraint inequalities. Find the vertices of the graph. Evaluate the objective quantity at each vertex. Pick out the least or greatest value depending on what your objective was. First, we have to decide what the objective function is. In other words, we have to decide what we want to optimize, either the maximum or the minimum. Start with the example. Bill works for $10 an hour for selling soda and $8 an hour for tasting candy. Bill only has 20 hours of free time to work. He wants to spend at least 6 hours a week tasting candy, but cannot work for more than 12 hours a week. Find the maximum weekly earnings. We want to find the maximum amount that he can earn every week. Secondly, you have to assign variables to the quantities. So for the number of hours tutoring, we have X, and the number of hours tasting candy, we have Y. So we write let X equals number of hours tutoring, and same goes for Y. So here we have the original question, so you can always refer back to the numbers. So after that, we have to assign the constraints found in the word problem. So in the word problem, X, which is the number of hours that he can work tasting candy, is at least 6 hours, so greater or equal to 6, and no more than 12 hours a week, so less than or equal to 12. The same goes for the other one, which is the combined hours of X and Y cannot be more than 20, so X plus Y is less than or equal to 20 hours per week, which is in the word problem. We also have natural constraints. We have natural constraints because X cannot be less than 0 and Y cannot be less than 0, since it is impossible for him to work negative hours at his job. We graph each of the lines right here. So we have X is less than or equal to 6 going down right here, and we have X is greater than or equal to 12, which is right here. And then we have the other one, which is X plus Y is less than or equal to 20, and this is the line right here. And since we have the natural constraints, it has to be in the first quadrant. And now we have the vertices, which are each of the corners of the feasible region. So after finding the vertices, we evaluate them by plugging them into the equation one by one. So we have the vertices right here, and then we put it into a little chart. So vertices, we have 10x plus 8y, which was our original equation, and then we have the money made, so which is the final value. So we put 6 in X and then 0 as Y, and then we get 60, and that's the money we can make. So you could do this by yourself. It's just simple mathematics. A list of the values for the corner points, which we need since we know that the maximum value is on a corner point. So finally, you have to pick the point with the highest value, since we are trying to find the most amount of money he could earn per week.